Cadena on the year, 333 batting average. He's getting on base at a 429 clip, slugging up at 500. He's only got the 2 RBI, though.
And the first pitch home from Christo's upstairs, and we are underway at 12:05 from Haymarket Park.
Gorgeous day here. Gorgeous.
Second pitch finds the zone there at 92 from Christo. Connor Clark and Harmon Johnson here with you on Big Ten Plus. A foul tip into the glove, and it's quickly 1-2. Nice job by Karen to squeeze it.
Christo working pretty quick here to start the day. We saw this on Friday with Brett Sears.
1-2, shot deep into right field. Back Sanderson, he looks up, and this ball's off the wall. Rounding into second, Cadena, he's going to go for 3. The cutoff throw on the way, not in time, and it's a leadoff triple for Cadena and the Buckeyes.
Cadena just got a hold of this baseball. Christo left it middle, and that's a tough ball to send out that way. You see he went down and got it. The wind is blowing in from right field, so the fact that he got it all the way to the wall, very impressive, very strong from the first lefty here to face Christo.
Quite the start for the Buckeyes, trying to get a game here in this series before heading back to Columbus. Here's Henry Kazmar with a runner 90 feet away. Grounds one right side of the infield. This will score the run with ease. Throw over to first in time, and Ohio State out to a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, that's a great job putting the ball in play on the left side, allowing the runner to come home and score. And so 2 batters in, it's 1-0 Ohio State, getting on the board early.
First lead of this series. Nebraska won Friday night's game 3-0 behind a complete game shutout from Brett Sears. They won yesterday 7-3. Here's Gravelin, one of the best hitters in this Ohio State lineup, batting .317. 3 home runs, 13 RBIs for him. Pitch home from Christo misses low, and it's a ball and a strike with 1 out.
Gravelin, the only true right-handed bat here in the lineup.
Big swing and a miss there. Nice pitch from Christo, makes it 1 ball and 2 strikes. You mentioned the lone righty in this lineup. Obviously, lefties already giving Christo trouble with the leadoff triple from Cadena. And a big swing and a miss on a sweeping breaking ball. It gets away from Karen, and he's going to have no play.
Yeah, that's a tough ball to handle for Karen. It kind of bounced in front of the dish, and when he went to pick it up on the transfer, did not get a solid hold of it. So the strikeout, but unable to record the out. We'll see here, it just bounces away, and on the grab, did not have it firmly.
So here's Petterini in the cleanup spot. Takes a ball. Runner on first with only 1 out here in the top of the first. 1-0 Buckeyes. After Kazmar drove in Cadena, who hit the leadoff triple. In the dirt again, and then getting caught up in between first and second, Gravelin, but he'll easily retreat back to the first base bag.
That's 3 straight pitches in the dirt for Christo, and all 3 of them, the catcher Karen has had a hard time handling. He's getting the block down pretty good, but then trying to pick the ball up on the fly, just not able to do it. Typically a sure-handed catcher back there.
Petterini fouls 1 straight back. He's 1 for 5 in the series. There's a strikeout, and a walk.
You see just batting right under 300 there, 293 average.
Longer pause from Christo. Now the 2-1. Chopper right back towards the mound. He's got it underhanded, and we'll toss it over to first for out number 2.
Yeah, that's a great job of filling his position. Does Christo, just able to grab it and flip it over to Stone at first. That advances the runner, though, so another runner in scoring position here. There are 2 outs, however, for the Buckeyes.
That brings up the right fielder, Mitchell Okuley. A guy who has plenty of RBIs to his name this year, 20 of them, and an average of 287. Shift is on for him on the right side of the infield. He swings at the first pitch he sees, belted into right, and this ball will one-hop the wall. Coming in to score easily, Gravelin, and into second, Oakley with an RBI double, and it's 2-0 Bucks.
Another pitch just looped out into right field, fighting the wind. And we mentioned in the open, Christo's going to have to deal with lefties, and so far almost all of them, in fact, all of them have given him trouble.
So RBI number 21 for Mitchell Okuley with the RBI double. And they replace the man at second as Mershon shoots one foul.
And both of those hits, the triple and the double, they were both really well contacted. I mean, off the bat, if the wind wasn't blowing, those things both would have been out of the park.
Pitch upstairs from Christo. He's already matched the amount of earned runs he gave up in his last start against Northwestern. He went 4 2/3 out in Evanston in a 9-5 win on March 30th. One swung right through.
That's a great off-speed pitch there by Christo, trying to fool the lefties. They obviously have been seeing the fastball pretty well, so we'll see how much Christo mixes in the off-speed to try and fool these other-handed batters.
Christo tried to hit the back foot. Couldn't quite locate it and get the swing. It's even at 2. Man on second with 2 outs. 2-0 Buckeyes here in the top of the first from Lincoln. 2-2 home, a liner right back up the middle, but behind the bag carry, throws over to first in time, and the inning is over, but not before the Buckeyes do some damage early. Off to a hot start, 2-0 Ohio State. We head to the bottom half right here on Big Ten Plus. Freshman from Walled Lake, Michigan. His first pitch misses down low.
Yeah, it's great to see that Ohio State has the trust in this freshman pitcher, and the ERA is there to show. I mean, 1.15, that's nothing to sneeze at.
1-0 pitch to Brumbaugh. In there for a called strike. Brumbaugh has had a fantastic year for Nebraska, batting .364. No home runs, but 10 RBIs and an OBP of .420.
Yeah, Brumbaugh's found his spot here in the top of the lineup for the Cornhuskers.
1-1 home, misses high and away. 2 balls and a strike.
Between him at the top and Rhett Stokes down there at the 9-hole, Nebraska basically has a 1-2 punch when they get through the lineup one time. So Brumbaugh's been a really hot bat for the Cornhuskers.
That ball gets away. 3 balls and a strike. Last time out for DeVote. Came against Purdue on March 31st, went 2 innings, as I mentioned earlier, gave up no runs, walked 2, struck out 2 in a losing effort. Lost that game 7-1 against the Boilermakers. 3-1 home, popped in the air, shallow center field. Stevenson coming in, back from shortstop Kazmar. He gets called off at the last second, and there's 1 out.
Yeah, that's a great job by the defense there. Stevenson coming in from the outfield, calling off the shortstop Kazmar. He had the better play. The wind was going to make it hold up for forever. You could see Kazmar over there, or Stevenson rather, losing his hat in the outfield. So definitely the right defensive play there for the Buckeyes.
That brings up Riley Silva with nobody on and 1 gone. Batting .296 this year. No home runs and 12 RBIs. 29 hits in total. He fouls that one off.
Yeah, Silva had a decent day yesterday. Had a big double in that big inning there where the Nebraska scored six runs. I mean, they were held hitless up until that point and then exploded for 6 against the Buckeyes yesterday.
Shows bunt this time and chops it foul towards his own on-deck circle. He's in the midst of a 3-game hit streak. 2 of those have been multiple hit games. And he's 3 for 7 in the series so far. He's driven in 3 runs.
Well, this is one of those lefty bats that DeVote is going to have to face here early in the game. See if Nebraska can take advantage like Ohio State did.
0-2 tied him up on the inside, and what's the call? They're going to say he's out. So a nice pitch on the inside from DeVote, And quickly 2 gone here for the Buckeyes.
Yeah, foul tip there off the bat. Silva didn't think so. He's still lobbying his case as head coach Will Bolt comes out of the dugout. Home plate umpire John Coons called a foul tip, caught in the glove right away.
Get another look here.
Or he swung, actually. He's calling that he swung initially, didn't even get the appeal down to third base. And that's typically not a call that a home plate umpire should make. You know, you should always ask for help, but
we did see the tip signal from Coons, though.
We did.
And on the replay, I think it's pretty evident that he wasn't close to tipping the ball.
And if he's calling that it was a foul tip, you know, it should have been a foul ball because the ball hit the ground. It wasn't caught off the glove.
Right.
So John Coons got together there with the umpiring crew. Mike Weinstein is over at first. Mike Fitchter is at second. And Jason Stidham, not to be confused with Jason Statham, is over at third.
First pitch to Sanderson is in there for a ball. A freshman from Nevada, Missouri. First appearance in this series for him. The 1-0 finds the zone.
Yeah, Sanderson is, in his last couple outings, has come off as the DH, giving Brumbaugh a day off. But now over in right field, Swanson was in right field on yesterday.
Off speed, drops in for a called strike. It's 1-2.
And now the infield for Ohio State is just completely shifted over here with 2 strikes to the Pulse side, 3 fielders over on the right side of the infield.
A big swing and a miss. The ball gets away. Eckelman's got to race over. He's not going to get there. So we've seen this in back-to-back half innings. A drop third strike results in a base runner.
Yeah, it did. And that one just trickled into the dugout. First base coach over there for Nebraska was lobbying that Sanderson should have been on second base as a ground rule double, but umpires are going to keep him at first. But, yeah, that's interesting. You can come to a baseball game and never see a drop third strike result in a base runner. We've seen 2 of them already.
That brings up the cleanup hitter, Cole Evans. Definitely a guy to look out for if you're Gavin DeVoe. A .318 hitter, 2 home runs, 21 RBIs this year. Chance to keep the bottom half of the first inning going. First pitch well outside.
Well, and if Evans can reach, that brings up the hard-hitting power hitter and Tyler Stone from the left side. Certainly not a matchup you want to see with 2 men on, only up by 2.
.1-0 down low, and Sanderson takes off. He's going to get in there. No problem for Case Sanderson, and a runner in scoring position now for the Huskers.
That's a great read there by Sanderson. Noticed that the catcher Eckelman didn't quite have a read on where the ball was at his feet and just took off.
.2-0 pitch in the air, shallow right. Okuley rushing in. Will he get there? Dives. Does he have it? He does.
Wow.
Mitchell Okuley saves
play.
a run and puts an end to the bottom half of the first inning. How about that from the Buckeyes?
Put that one on the top 10 list.
We head to the second. It's Ohio State 2 and Nebraska nothing. You're watching college baseball on Big Ten Plus. On Big Ten Plus, as Nebraska goes for their second straight Big Ten sweep, and the Buckeyes look to get out of Lincoln with at least 1 win. As Zach Felstad will lead things off here in the top half of the second. Swings and sends a fly ball shallow right field. In the outfield, grasses Stokes. And a quick first out for Drew Christo and the Huskers.
Yeah, Felstad swinging at a lot here early and just kind of loops that one to the shallow part of the field. Stokes really didn't have to move. He was already shifted over that way, and the wind holding it in the air made that a pretty easy play for the Nebraska second baseman.
Here's a center fielder, Josh Stevenson, with the bases empty and 1 out. First pitch is a foul tip in and out of the glove of Karen. Stevenson, the transfer from LSU. 2023 College World Series champion with the Tigers last year. The 1 pitch, swung on and missed. Nice off speed from Christo at 86, and it's 0-2.
Stevenson definitely bringing in an aspect of that championship mentality, a lot of experience, despite not playing as much as he probably wanted to on that LSU team.
0-2 is a long fly ball, but foul. Played 40 games as a freshman with the Tigers in 2022, 24 games last year. 0-2 misses low, so he stays alive. It's 1-2. He's 1 for 5 with a home run and a walk in the series. 1-2 outside. He's also a native of Lafayette, Louisiana, so he leaves home to transfer to Ohio State after the College World Series championship year. And a swing and a miss for strike 3.
Second strikeout for Drew Christo. Obviously, the first one didn't count as an out because of the passed ball, but great off-speed sinking pitch there. It just catches Stevenson off guard. Quickly 2 outs now after a long first inning.
Mason Eckelman takes a ball upstairs. 2 outs, bases empty, 2-0 Ohio State. Eckelman batting 176 this year, fouls this one off. No home runs and 1 RBI.
Yeah, Eckelman not played in many games so far this year.
And that one just misses from Christo. Everybody in the building wants a strike. Two-one from Christo, blows it by him.
Well, no doubt about that. That was a strike with the swing, so the crowd a little more happy here.
And the pitch, that one's up in the air and foul.
Big crowd on hand for a Sunday afternoon.
It's turned out to be a gorgeous day in Lincoln. 2-2, a hard hit over to the third base side into the shift, a quick bobble, a throw, and it's not in time. Yeah. Overbeek had trouble with it off a funky hop, and Eckelman able to beat it out.
Yeah, Overbeek just had a tough time handling that pitch, as you mentioned. Get to see it here. Great swing there by Eckelman, and Overbeek unable to corral it in time. So now we flip the lineup card over.
They're going to charge Overbeek with an error. First pitch home is a called strike to Cadena, who's 1 for 1 with a triple.
Yeah, that triple we thought was out of the ballpark. Wind was just blowing too much to let it fly.
1 pitch well upstairs. 1 ball and 1 strike. The wind is whipping from right field to left field today. You think if the flagpoles are at a standstill, that ball is probably 5 or 6 feet over the fence.
Oh, certainly.
You'd say the same thing about the RBI double from Mitchell Okuley as well. The short porch over there in the right field corner. Christo's 2-1. In the air, foul ground.
Cadena's triple came on a 1-2 count. So now with 2-2, you wonder what Christo goes to here. Obviously, didn't leave a fastball in the right spot last at bat.
2-2. High and outside, the count is full. He did go to the fastball there, but left it nowhere near the zone.
Well, the runner at first, Eckelman, should be off with the pitch.
And the payoff swung on and missed. Strike 3. Went to the high heat at 95. And this time he gets the better of Cadena for out number 3. We head to the bottom half. It's the Buckeyes 2 and the Huskers nothing on Big Ten Plus.
Yeah, certainly a little less pressure, but you know that even on a day where the wind's blowing in, Stone's got the power to send it out to the bullpen out there.
First pitch home to Stone is in there for a called strike at 79. Stone batting .298 this year, 4 home runs, 18 RBIs. Previously attended Gonzaga and Iowa Western Community College. 0-1 is chopped foul.
Yeah, a lot of good things have been said about Iowa Western. They develop a lot of D1 talent down there in the community college ranks. So certainly a great transfer product here for Nebraska.
Heavy shift on for Stone as well. 3 infielders on the right side of second base. The 0-2 misses low.
Yeah, and the third baseman, Felstad, is playing basically in the shortstop position right now. There's a wide open hole between the third base bag and the third baseman. Stone, not a big opposite field hitter, but
1-2 just below the zone at 94. Stone is 1 for 6 in the series. He has struck out 3 times. We're trying to get it going here against the Buckeyes in game 3.
Yeah, but his one hit was a big double yesterday. Got the crowd fired up.
2-2, chopper right side, behind the bag at first, and Gravelin will take it with no problem for out 1.
Easy play there for Gravelin over there at first base. Basically told his pitcher, DeVoot, to just, you stay. I'll get it. We got this. 1 out.
That brings up Josh Karen. Another really dangerous hitter in this Husker lineup. On paper, really the best hitter in this Husker lineup. As he takes a ball down low. A .298 average, 6 home runs, 35 RBIs.
Yeah, Karen's been tearing it up recently. He's on a 10-game hitting streak.
1-0 pitch. That one's hit well. Foul ground right side, and it will fall just in front of the berm.
Yeah, and 3 of those hits have been, or 3 of those games rather, have been multi-hit games. So Karen, even though he's batting down here in the 6th spot, is definitely, like you mentioned, one of the best hitters on this roster.
And get wind of this. Just one of 7 Huskers ever to have 30-plus RBIs in the team's first 25 games. That one's shot foul. Any guesses as to who number 1 is? I'm seeing if you did your homework.
Well, I've got it out right here. Bryce Matthews last year, 39 in the first 25 games.
So a pair of very recent Huskers.
Matthews, of course, in the Astros organization right now.
That one's hit well out into right. Okuley traveling back. He looks up. It's off the wall, and it gets stuck underneath. The arms go up, and what are they going to say here? Karen is still running. They're going to send him home.
Well, the umpire's holding up a hand out there in left field, and they're going to place him at second base.
Yes, they are.
Calling a ground rule double there as the ball just got lost in the fence out there.
He kept running, and I respect the heads-upness of the play.
That's the right play there, because you don't know what the umpire is going to call right away. Let's see if we can get a good view of this.
They will send it back to second. Immediately, you can see that the arms go up from Mitchell Okuley out there in right field.
Look at it. It got stuck in out there between the video board and the pad, or where? It
had to have been.
Where is that baseball now? It's gone. Vanished. Either way, it's a double for Josh Karen, and he extends his hit streak now to 11 games.
That brings up Josh Overbeek with an RBI chance, down 2-0. We have had a handful of oddities in this game already. First pitch, shot foul down the left side. Look out.
Hope everyone's good down there. We had an instance during the second homestand where a fan had to be assisted off by medical staff. Everyone's okay. They gave the thumbs up down there.
1, that one's off speed in there for a called strike. Nice pitch from DeVote. And it's quickly 0-2 to Overbeek. 1 home run, 7 RBIs for him this year. A chance to add to that total. A lot of room on the left side of the infield. And the pitch, that one's hit in the air. Okuley traveling back into right, twisting and turning, makes the catch just shy of the track. Tagging at second, Karen. So a productive out, number 2 at that. And the runner moves to third.
Now there's another well-hit ball out into right field that just hung up for the right fielder Okuley to make a play on. I think that with that contact, it might have been gone on a day where the wind shifted. I mean, we've had a lot of just great contact out towards right field.
So Dylan Carey with the runner 90 feet away and 2 outs. Chance to bring in Josh Karen and cut the Buckeye lead in half. First pitch. That one shot deep into center field. Stevenson back to his right. He's got plenty of room, and he makes the catch for out number 3. So the Huskers strand a man on third after the ground rule double from Josh Karen, but they come up empty. We enter the third, Ohio State 2 and Nebraska nothing on Big Ten Plus.
Connor Clark up here in the booth as the first pitch from Christo to Kazmar is a strike.
Both of us were trying to figure out where that baseball could have gone. No idea in real time, but now we have our answer, I guess. I guess that's our hypothesis, I should say.
I guess. I mean, someone's going to have to go out there and look in the video board after the game.
Yeah.
Kazmar looks at 1-1, and it's down for ball number 2. Yeah, it should be interesting to see if the ground crew can find the ball after the game. 2-1. Lined out to right field. Going back is the right fielder, Sanderson. It's up, and it is gone. Ohio State strikes for a home run. We've seen a lot of hard-hit contact, but Kazmar gets it over the fence for the first home run today, and the Buckeyes extend their lead to 3-0.
My goodness. We talked about the wind going from right field to left field, and it's blowing pretty hard. So Kazmar had to get all of this baseball, and he did that and then some. Well over the fence out in right center.
First pitch to Gravelin is called a strike. Yeah, I mentioned coming in. We've had a lot of hard hit balls out that way, but none have cleared the fence, and that pitch chopped foul. Somebody had to have the strength to get it out there, and that one definitely found that berm over there past the 400 sign. Be interested to see what the official distance is on that here in a little bit.
That's his second RBI this afternoon as well. He had the RBI ground out back in the first that scored Kadena after the leadoff triple. And now he's got a solo home run.
That pitch missed outside for a ball as the 1-2 swung on and missed. Christo has a strikeout, and so after giving up the home run, he comes back and K's Gravelin for the second time today.
Already Christo's 4th K of the afternoon, obviously one of them resulting in a base runner because of that drop third strike, but has been pretty good with a punch out here this afternoon.
Fresh count to Petterini, and he is hit on the pitch. Appeal down to third base umpire Jason Stidham. He did not go around, so a hit by pitch, and there's a man on now with only 1 out for Drew Christo.
I feel like that developed really slowly. I don't know if that was just me, but that was kind of an odd. You saw the pitch come in, and then you heard it hit him, and then almost a delayed reaction. But it definitely got Petterini on the top of the foot.
You know, Connor, I'm getting ready to get my bingo card out here because we've just seen so much. I don't know how to put it. Oddities, weird plays.
Yeah.
If you wanted to come to a baseball game and see some stuff you've never seen in a baseball game before, today was your day to come out to Hawks Field.
Just start handing out baseball bingo cards to everybody in attendance.
Well, they did that last night. They actually did.
They picked the wrong game to do it.
As pitching coach Rob Childress will pop out of the dugout, and Drew Christo's day is done as the motion down to the bullpen.
So let's see how many innings Will Walsh will get the nod for here, and I imagine they're going to ask him to eat up 2 or 3.
Check over at first, and this is a great move by Rob Childress because left-handed heavy lineup in Ohio State. Now you have a left-handed pitcher on the mound who could, in theory, finish this game with the longevity he has. Walsh sets, runner goes. Pitch is outside for a ball. Throw down to second, not in time. Stolen base by Petterini.
A good jump by Petterini there and throwing the opposite side of the bag from Karen. It was going to be a tough tag for Carey to try and go from his right to his left. And a stolen bag for the Buckeyes.
Will Walsh comes set again at the belt. And he fires in a curveball, not a strike, it's a ball. So quickly 2-0 to Okuley. This is the one thing you can't do if you're a Nebraska pitcher is you can't walk batters, especially with the fact that this is now a bullpen game. 2-0. High and inside. 3-0, and Will Walsh is in danger of walking the base that he just lost and putting 2 men on.
Well, you just mentioned his lack of walks this year, only 3 of them.
3-0 is high, and there is a walk. Add to the low total for Will Walsh, and now there's 2 on with only 1 out. Certainly not the way Rob Childress wanted his pitching staff to start this outing.
Well, it's probably a product, too, of a pretty short amount of time for him to warm up. He probably wasn't expecting, obviously, to get in this game this early. So I'm sure the phone call was made down not too long ago, and he had to get it up and going pretty quickly.
That'll bring up Joseph Mershon on the day. He's 0 for 1 with a ground out. That pitch in the dirt. Karen can't find it. Both runners are going to advance. And now 2 runners in scoring position as the threat continues for the Buckeyes. They've already scored 1 in this inning.
Yeah, just a tough break for Karen. He put a decent block on it, but just couldn't locate the baseball afterwards. And we're going to have another mound visit here as Will Walsh off to a little bit of a rocky start out of the bullpen.
Yeah, Will Walsh has not fired a pitch in for a strike yet.
The infield comes in here for Nebraska.
All 4 fielders playing on the grass. Next pitch misses inside. 6 balls, no strikes here for Will Walsh in this outing so far as Mershon's ahead 2-0. Rob Childress takes a lot of pride in his pitching staff. So certainly after the dominant games yesterday and Friday, there's a strike from Will Walsh. Certainly after the domination Friday and Saturday, this is not exactly how Nebraska fans thought their pitching staff would do.
You're still only down 3-0, but got to limit the damage here.
That pitch finds the zone, and it's 2-2. Will Walsh has finally found the strike zone. Nebraska's pitching has only given up 3 total runs over 18 innings in this series before this game. That pitch misses outside. That's only ball 3, I thought. Yep, it is only ball 3. As home plate umpire John Coons tells the batter to head back to the box. Mershon was on his way to first. I had ball 2 and ball 3. The scoreboard had ball 2 and ball 3.
Can I X off another box on my bingo card?
Yeah, there you go. I mean,
because I'm pretty sure that falls under that kind of topic. You were on it. The Husker dugout is furious. Will Bolt is out.
John
Coons.
All 4 coaches were out there screaming at John Coons, and certainly the umpires have had a difficult day today so far as second base umpire Mike Fitcher is going to come in and have a chat.
I mean, you can understand the frustration from the Husker side because you're in a jam. You can't really afford, I guess you could fill first base to have a force everywhere, but you don't necessarily want to. It was just a nice piece of hitting, too, on top of it from Mershon. Kept it simple.
And in any other circumstance, that would be applauded by this Nebraska fan. Okay, that was a good hit.
Yeah.
As that pitch misses outside for ball number 1.
I'm honestly surprised we didn't see another Will Bolt sighting after that base hit. Just to kind of fire up his guys, too.
1-0. Will Walsh checks back at first, and Mershon back in time. So Ohio State now leads 5-0 here in the top of the 3rd inning, and there's only 1 out with a man at first. Felstad has a 1-0 count. Another check back at first. I've got nothing more to say, Connor. It's just been a crazy couple of innings so far.
I think we're in for quite the 6.5 innings that we have left to go.
1-0 to Felstad. The pitch comes in, and it's called a strike. So the count evens at 1 apiece.
And obviously this is where Nebraska benefits being at home because the crowd is obviously riled up and into it now. And anything that goes Nebraska's way will certainly inject energy into this Husker lineup.
Quick check at first from Walsh as Mershon gets back in time. Felstad, in his first plate appearance, flew out to Rhett Stokes. As that pitch curves in down low for a ball, it's 2-1. Certainly Will Walsh, who's normally a weekday pitcher, he's doing the midweek games in here in a tough weekend series in the Big Ten. 2-1 pitch, swung on and missed. Great off speed by Will Walsh, and the count evens at 2-2.
You have to think, too, Ohio State has to rarely play in front of this many fans, especially in the Big Ten.
2-2, no check back at first.
And that's not a knock on any other Big Ten program. It's just Nebraska's towards the top, even nationally, attendance-wise. So when you get into weird situations like this, it's interesting to see how the visitor will react.
2-2, no, another check over at first. Will Walsh really concerned with Mershon over there. And rightfully so, 5 runners have crossed the plate already for the Buckeyes. Certainly if you're Nebraska, you gave up 3 runs in the last 2 games. You've given up 5 here in 3 innings. Swing and a miss inside. Got him on the hands. And down goes Felstad. That's the second out of the inning. Will Walsh picks up a K.
A really nice pitch. Kind of jammed him inside. A little bit off speed as well. So we get another look here. A really nice pitch. Kind of inside towards the belt and drops off a table.
That'll bring up Josh Stevenson, the center fielder. He struck out in his first plate appearance back in the second. Walsh checks over at first.
See, with 2 outs, you're probably not as concerned with Mershon over there at first base, but anything to keep him at bay. He is a lefty, so the pickoff move is a lot more simple.
Big lead out there for Mershon. The pitch goes into Stevenson. It's called a strike. Mershon dancing around out there at first base trying to get a throw over. Stevenson on the year came into this game batting .227. He does have 3 home runs and 14 RBI on the year. That pitch out, throw back, Karen not in time as Mershon was able to dive back safely. Karen did successfully pick someone off at first yesterday, and that fired up the pretty large Nebraska crowd, trying to do it again here to get out of the inning. But the count's 1-1 as swung on and missed. Great off speed by Will Walsh.
A phenomenal pitch, 78 miles an hour. Totally fooled the hitter Stevenson, and now I think you don't even worry about first base. You just attack home.
Crowd trying to get behind Will Walsh. 1-2, no, it's a check over at first. So not taking your advice, Connor. Will Walsh a little concerned over there with Mershon.
Well, I'm up here and not a head coach for a reason. That's just what I would do.
1-2 pitch. Grounded. Over to the right side. Overbeak. Throws. Fires to first. In time. And the side is retired. So Nebraska gives up 3 Ohio State runs. The inning had a home run. It did start with a home run by Kazmar. And then a wild set of oddities got us to this point. It's 5-0 Ohio State. We're going to the bottom of the third here at Hawks Field. You're watching on Big Ten Plus. In yesterday's game, only 1 hit so far in this one. Down 5-0. Rhett Stokes steps to the plate. First offering he sees is outside.
And DeVote, too, his season high in innings is 3. Nobody warming in the bullpen, so I'm going to let him go here, and obviously, rightfully so.
This will be DeVote's 30th pitch. It's high, ball number 2. Stokes had a great first long homestand. As you see, his batting average is .320. He had 7 doubles in the first homestand of the year and ended up earning Big Ten Player of the Week during one of those weeks. That pitch in there for a strike. Stokes was in the 8-hole spot in that series, now in the 9-hole here, serving as almost a second leadoff hitter for Nebraska, as Brumbaugh and Silva will follow. 2-1, cut on and missed. Stokes swinging hard, but no contact, and the count is even at 2.
Played 2 seasons at the New Mexico Military Institute. It's one of my favorite facts I saw.
Swing and a miss, ball's in the dirt, but tagged out. So a strikeout with a 2 unassisted, and Stokes is down swinging.
A nice pitch there from Devote. He's been dealing so far. Living up to that 1.15 ERA. I know mainly as a reliever. Longest start has been 3 innings, or longest go-around, I should say.
Brumbaugh's up. Let's do the math. He's got a 1 ERA, and he's pitched 18 innings. How many runs has he given up? By my math, I think that's 2.
I think you're right.
First pitch to Brumbaugh was a strike, and Devote already set and ready to go. That one's outside for an even count. Only 2 runs given up over 18 innings pitched, 16 strikeouts, 9 walks is the one kind of blemish on Devote's record right now. 1-1. Lined towards the berm. It is going to stay in play. The wind held it up, and that was the first baseman, Gravelin, who was able to make the play in foul territory. I thought off the bat that was headed straight for the grass, but wind keeping it in play here.
I agree. I thought that was going to find the berm, and a nice play from Gravelin, too. Kind of a basket catch over the shoulder on the dirt. A tough break for the Huskers there, and Brumbaugh, 2 quick outs here in the 3rd.
That's been the story for Devote on the mound. He's gotten quick outs, and a lot of them. 36, now 37 pitches as the first pitch to Silva is outside for ball number 1.
The resume of teams that Devote has pitched against is quite high. USC, Grand Canyon, Arizona State, Oklahoma. Those are his first 4 appearances.
Wow. That pitch hits Silva on the knee. And so with 2 outs, Nebraska has a base runner.
Much needed base runner.
Yes. A little bit of a ginger walk down to first for Silva.
You could kind of hear it up here. You could tell that didn't really hit any padding. It got all skin, so that'll hurt a little bit. You can't really blame Silva for taking an extra second trying to gather himself.
John Coons calls time behind the plate so that Silva can get a couple more seconds to kind of nurse the knee. As
he's in pain.
Play center field, you're going to have your mobility. You got to range from left to right a lot, so certainly we'll see if that affects his defense. He's going to stay in the game and run, however. And now Case Sanderson, who struck out but reached first base on a pass ball in the first inning, one of the many oddities in this game, is up at the plate. First pitch to him is outside for ball 1.
Keeping an eye on Silva over at first, still kind of gingerly moving. He's taking his regular lead and then a secondary lead, but on his way back to first, he's being pretty gentle.
1-0 pitch to Sanderson is in the dirt. Silva not going. It's 2-0. Sanderson getting the start today. We mentioned in the start of the game as he typically kind of fills in that DH spot for Brumbaugh, but getting a chance to play the field here in game number 3 of the series. 2-0. Catches the black for strike number 1. Defense playing pretty regular. Shortstop, second base, third base all in their normal positions. Silva being held on at first by Gravelin. 2-1 is lined out into left center field. Chasing it back is Stevenson. He's going back at the wall, and it's gone! Case Sanderson hits one over the fence, opposite way, and Nebraska puts 2 on the board. It's 5-2.
Well, this time you finally see a product of the wind helping a fly ball. Sanderson goes the other way. It gets up in the jet stream and just kept carrying and carrying and carrying and just snuck over the fence in left center. Big time swing from Case Sanderson, exactly what Will Bolt's squad needed.
I didn't think it had a chance off the bat, but the wind just kept pushing and pushing over the in out there in the outfield. And that'll bring up Cole Evans with 2 outs. So the first blemish of the day for Devote. That pitch outside for ball number 1.
You kept an eye on Stevenson out there in center, and you just kept seeing him running and running. And as you were calling the play, I'm looking, and he just isn't stopping. And all of a sudden, the ball's over the fence.
That pitch to Evans is high, and so we mentioned Devoted only giving up 2 runs. Now, here's 2 runs right here in this inning, as that'll force a quick meeting by Bill Mosiello coming out.
And a right-hander warming up in the Ohio State bullpen, too. So this will be interesting to see what the leash looks like now, because we talked about it earlier. The efficiency was good. Now he's at 44 pitches. This would be his tied for his longest outing of his career, because he's just the freshman.
Zach Brown, a freshman righty, warming out in the Ohio State bullpen. If you're Bill Mosiello, you really want Devote to get through this inning so that you don't have to make that pitching change. Cole Evans is ahead in the count, 2-0. 2-0 pitch gets nothing, and it's outside for 3-0.
I think this is a product, too, of what we were talking about earlier, the atmosphere in which Ohio State is in right now. Now Nebraska has something go their way, and you have a freshman on the mound. How will he handle the situation? Clearly, it's not going very well.
Ball 4 yanked way outside as that gets to the backstop. Evans takes his shin guard off and heads to first base, and that brings up Tyler Stone. Another home run potential here for Nebraska. And we will see how short the leash is for Devote with 2 outs here. His longest outing was 48 pitches. That was when he had that 3 innings of work. He's at 46 right now. And coming into this inning, he was dealing. He looked really good.
He was sharp. He was working quickly. He had retired 4 in a row until the hit by pitch, the 2-run home run, and then the walk.
Quick check at Evans, was not in time, and now coming set is Devote. First pitch to Stone, in there for a strike. Wow, and for the Nebraska fans here, that 2-run home run came as a huge pressure reliever. They were all fired up from the called ball 4, called ball 3 kind of scenario there. As a quick pickoff, and certainly the air has kind of been released from this atmosphere. Certainly a tough atmosphere to play in for both teams. Like, you can just feel the pressure.
It was tough, too, because everybody kind of got riled up after that whole ball situation, and then the very next pitch is a 2-run single.
That pitch called a strike to Stone, and it's 0-2 to the lefty bat. Man at first, 0-2 count, 2 outs. Gavin Devote checks back at first, and Evans is back in time. Tyler Stone with 18 RBI on the year. Wind blowing from right to left. 0-2 pitch is lined, and it'll get down for a base hit. Tyler Stone puts one into left field. It's picked up by Cadena, and there's still 2 on and 2 out here for the Nebraska Cornhuskers, sending the tying run to the plate in the form of Josh Karen.
Let's see what Ohio State does here. This could be the end of the line, and it will be.
Called to the bullpen. It'll be Zach Brown coming in as Devote's day is done. He'll be responsible for the runner Evans at second and the runner Stone at first. That'll bring up Josh Karen. We mentioned best player for Nebraska on paper. In the Big Ten, in the 2024 eligibility for the MLB draft, Josh Karen is listed as the number 18 prospect in the Big Ten, only behind Dylan Carey for Nebraska, who's listed at number 8 for the Cornhuskers. Karen watches the first pitch and lines it out to center field. Stevenson chasing it back at the track, and he makes a basket catch over his head. What an effort by Stevenson. First it was Okuley making a nice catch in right field, and now Stevenson making a catch in center field to save a couple of runs. Ohio State 5, Nebraska 2. We're going to the top of the 4th. You're watching on Big Ten Plus.
6 whole innings left, too.
Lefty Walsh deals, and it is outside for a ball. Husker faithful that have showed out today have not been too approving of the umpiring in this game, as that pitch is down and away for ball number 2. Will Walsh he got out of the jam in the last inning. As that pitch misses outside, he's thrown 3 straight pitches outside the zone.
Protecting your home field is so important in any sport. But obviously with a team like Nebraska here, you go back to 2021, you win the Big Ten. You only have the conference schedule, so you don't get to host the regional based off of the selection committee. I think everybody here feels like there's a very legitimate chance that they could host a regional this year, and they know that every win that they can get in this ballpark is extremely valuable.
Protecting home field is extremely important, as the first pitch to Cadena is called a strike. Cadena is 1 for 2 today. He had the leadoff triple and came around to score in the first inning before striking out in the second inning. That pitch lined foul past the first base bag. Well, we mentioned the pitching output here for Nebraska, and Rob Childress, one of the better pitching coaches to ever, do the game. His staff in the 25 seasons, as that pitch is grounded over to second for 1, no play at first. Stokes flips it to carry for the leadoff runner, and so Cadena will reach on a fielder's choice. And back to my thought here, Rob Childress in his 25 seasons, his pitching factory, as I like to call it, ERA 344, strikeouts per 9, 761. I mean, Rob Childress has always had a lot of good pitching teams. A little bit of a weakness here today, obviously, for Nebraska, is they've given up 5 runs in the first 3 innings. But definitely something that the Cornhuskers feel they can ride into the postseason. That pitch finds the zone for strike number 1 to Henry Kazmar.
Well, you think about a guy in Brett Sears and how dominant he has been this year, and then you also think of a guy out of the bullpen, and that's Kyle Perry. I feel like he's been a pretty surprising name. I know he's a veteran, but I don't think anybody expected him to come in year 6 and dominate the way he's been playing. I mean, it's been really something to watch.
0-2 pitch. Drops in for a called strike 3. Delayed call by John Coons. And a little bit of theatrics here to rile up the Cornhusker crowd. Will Walsh has a strikeout looking.
A really nice pitch, breaking ball that just drops in. And as you mentioned, the delayed call, everybody on pins and needles, but they get what they want. A big second out.
That'll bring up Matthew Gravelin, who's been on base once today. Check over at first. Not in time.
One more quick thing on Kyle Perry. We may see him later today. Who knows? But a 1-0 record, a 2.7 ERA through 10 innings. I think you take that any day out of the week if you're Rob Childress.
Yeah, Nebraska's had quite a few dominant lefty pitchers here. Will Walsh, one of them. Jalen Worthley came in and pitched yesterday. He's a flamethrower. And, of course, Kyle Perry. Clean pitch, grounded to third. Overbeek has it. He throws to first. Dig by Stone is in time. And so after giving up the leadoff walk, Walsh sets him down 1-2-3, and we'll go to the bottom of the 4th. Nebraska trailing 5-2 on the Ohio State Buckeyes. You're watching on Big Ten Plus. The pitcher, Brown, in his second inning, first full inning of work here. Overbeek takes strike number 1. It's 7, 8, and 9 due up for the Cornhuskers. Overbeek in his last at-bat flew out to the right fielder. That was that diving play by Okuley. That pitch just outside for a ball. Game's kind of slowed down here in the 4th inning. We had a lot of action in the 3rd inning. Sidearm delivery is outside for ball number 2.
I think everybody's finally kind of settled in to the game. It feels like Nebraska's offense has found a little bit more of a rhythm.
2-1 is skied over to the left side. It will find the berm, and a couple of kids will fight over a souvenir. And the count evens at 2 apiece.
Plus, we also don't have baseballs getting stuck in scoreboards or counts getting messed up.
That is for sure. That's kind of helped contribute to this game. Overbeek batting from the left side. He's a switch hitter facing the righty. That pitch misses high and outside. It's a full count.
We haven't had somebody reach on a drop third in a while.
No. Again, if you're keeping score at home, I hope you've got a clean book. That pitch just inside, ball number 4. Josh Overbeek draws the walk.
That's a really impressive take from Overbeek. It was a close pitch regardless, but just being able to lay off that, not even taking the bat off of his shoulders. Really nice take from Overbeek and a nice start for Nebraska here in the bottom of the 4th.
And you sometimes see umpires call that pitch a strike because of the way the ball's coming in the zone. You know, that cross-arm action going across the plate. It's kind of hard not to call that, but it was ball 4, and that brings up Dylan Carey. That pitch down for ball number 1. We mentioned when talking about Josh Caron that Carey is the only Nebraska player higher than Caron in the draft prospect list in the Big Ten. He's listed at number 8. Certainly a little bit more of a down year than Carey would have wanted, as he's currently only batting .243.
He's a good all-around player, though. I feel like his versatility and just, you know, how he performs in all facets of the game is really solid.
Runner goes. Throw down to second is not in time, and Overbeek bullies over the second baseman, Mershon. Looked almost like a hockey stop. A little bit of a quick skate stop and a little bit of a bowling action here. You'll see it on the replay. Just a hard slide.
Yeah, that's just kind of unfortunate because clearly not on purpose, but
no.
Maybe he started his slide just a tad late.
Well, we've seen that in Major League Baseball, people getting upset about when people are sliding, you know, the whole Jeff McNeil, Reese Hoskins scenario.
Yeah.
Certainly no ill will on that side. I hope there's no ill will. We certainly don't want that to add into this game. Already had a lot of craziness so far. That pitch grounded to the second baseman, Mershon. He has one play. It's at first. That'll advance the runner Overbeek to third. So after the stolen base, Carey advances the runner 90 feet away, and there's only one out for Rhett Stokes.
That's what makes the stolen base even bigger now because you avoid the double play in that scenario. Instead of the bases being empty with 2 outs, you have a runner 90 feet away with only 1 out and a chance to continue to chip away at this 5-2 lead. Or at least that's what it is for now. Let's see if Rhett Stokes can change that a little bit as the shift is on.
First pitch to Stokes. Outside of the shift, it's going to go down, and we're going to run for a while. Stokes heads to second. 1 run's going to score. That's Overbeek, and it's a stand-up double for the 9-hole hitter, Rhett Stokes. And the score is now 5-3 in favor of the Buckeyes.
Well, you talked about it earlier, how many doubles he had in that first homestand, and that's very reminiscent of what we watched just a few weeks ago with Rhett Stokes. Really impressive hitting there. Goes the opposite way, finds the gap, and drives in the run. Overbeek with 0 problem.
That'll bring up the top of the order in Caden Brumbaugh. Stokes not afraid to run either as Brumbaugh fouls that one over us and into the parking lot. Nebraska didn't score in the first 2 innings. They've had 2 in the third, 1 in the fourth. Ohio State had 2 in the first, 3 in the third. Have not scored since. That pitch grounded. Going to be a tough play. Third baseman Felstad comes in to make it, and he gets there in time. Brumbaugh is retired for out number 2, but the speedy Stokes is now standing at third base with 2 outs.
It was a really nice play from Felstad over there at third base, able to cut it off. Wasn't hit very hard, so that allowed Stokes to advance from second to third. He was able to get out in front of the ball. Usually at second, ball's in front of you, taught not to run. But that one you had plenty of time because it was hit softly. But a nice defensive play by Felstad to get over there and make an accurate throw on the run.
That brings up Riley Silva, who was hit by a pitch his last at bat. If he could reach, it would be Case Sanderson, who had a wind-aided home run in the bottom of the third. First pitch to Silva is called a strike. Brown trying to get out of a jam without allowing another run. Pitch to Silva is down for ball one. Left-handed bat here facing the right-handed hurler on the mound. We talked about that a lot in the open. That's kind of all null and void now as pitching matchups have changed. 1-1 is lined into left field, chasing for foul territory. It will one-hop off the wall by the berm, and Cadena will fire into the bullpen for a souvenir. Actually, he doesn't get it there, but one of the bullpen catchers will run out and grab it. Overcast day now. It was sunny when we started, but clouds have rolled in. As Stokes dancing down at third, the 1-2 pitch. Silva grounds it to short. Kazmar has it. He throws to first, and the stretch by Gravlin gets there in time. Ohio State escapes without allowing another run. It's Ohio State 5, Nebraska 3. We're going to the top of the fifth inning. You're watching on Big Ten Plus.
To the fifth we go from Haymarket Park. Ohio State on top of Nebraska 5-3, and ripping the first pitch out into right, Petterini, but he hit it right to Case Sanderson. One pitch, one out to begin the fifth. A hard hit ball out into right, but Petterini retired for the second time here today. That brings up Mitchell Okuley. Well, that's an RBI double and has walked and come around to score. Ohio State with 2 in the first, 3 in the third. Nebraska 2 in the third and 1 in the fourth as Okuley takes a strike. Batting .295, no home runs, 21 RBIs. Looks at a ball on the outside. Okuley now 3 for 8 in this series, as he swings right through that one. The 1-2. Misses low, count even at 2. One out, base is empty. A hard shift on for Nebraska as well. 2-2, swung on and missed. Third strikeout for Will Walsh out of the bullpen. And 2 up, 2 down quickly here in the fifth.
Great fastball there by Will Walsh to get it in the zone. And you see now Nebraska's pitching staff is starting to respond to how their offense is playing. A little bit more of a shutdown here.
Mershon takes the ball inside of the knees. Mershon today 1 for 2 with a 2 RBI single. Fouls that one off the glove of Karen.
Yeah, Mershon driving in 2 of those runs in the third inning, which made it 5-0.
1-1 dribbled back to the Husker dugout. It's a ball and 2 strikes.
Will Walsh could get a quick inning here. It'd be huge for Nebraska considering their offense is starting to click.
1-2. Dribbler, hard hit, diving stop, Overbeek. Throw over to first in time. Nice play from Josh Overbeek at the hot corner, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Will Walsh and the Huskers. We head to the bottom half. It's Ohio State 5 and Nebraska 3 on Big Ten Plus. Here with you on Big Ten Plus. And the first pitch in there for a called strike. Harmon Johnson to my left. Having a good time at the ballpark.
Certainly been an interesting time here at the ballpark.
1 pitch, misses down and away. Last time up, Sanderson, a 2-run home run in the 3rd. With 390 feet, 97 miles an hour off the bat. It's not an overly hard hit ball, but clearly a wind-aided one at that. 1-1 pitch. This is high and outside. 2 balls and a strike.
Well, in this ballpark, wind-aided typically means blowing out to the right field side, but this pitch was definitely helped with the wind coming in from right field, blowing it opposite field for Sanderson, who bats in that left-handed side.
That one's hard hit off the glove of Brown. This is going to be a tough play, and Sanderson is safe.
I would assume they ruled that an infield single. Just a great effort there by Zach Brown diving off the mound, but a lot of pitching coaches would probably attest that when you're the pitcher up there, unless it's right back at you, which that one pretty much was, but that was a weird hop that it took. Unless it's right back at you, it's an easy-to-field ball, you probably should just let it go and let your fielders behind you make the play, because what happened there is the glove just completely took off any chance at Mershon to make the play.
I think his momentum from his follow-through kind of made that play a lot harder than it could have been. Here's Cole Evans. First pitch to him is down low for a ball. Evans this afternoon 0 for 1. Was robbed of a hit out in right field by Mitchell Oakley in the 1st inning and walked in the 3rd. The pickoff move back over to first, and Sanderson in safely.
Well, if there's one fielder that needs to make a great play here in this inning, it's got to be Isaac Cadena. He's the only outfielder without a diving play.
Another throw back over to first, not in time.
Evans, a right-handed batter, certainly a chance here for Cadena if he gets it.
Brown will deal home this time and miss outside.
You wonder with the mental, what's going through the mind of the pitcher when you pick off 3, 4, 5 times in an at-bat, then have to go throw home. Like, you see a lot of pitchers miss after they've picked off twice or 3 times.
2-0 pitch, chop foul, just getting a piece, Evans. It's that, and it's the strategy of it.
Yeah, when do you pick off? How do you pick off? What move am I going to use? And with the rules in college baseball, you can pick off as many times as you want. This isn't the major leagues.
And another throw over, right on cue.
If this was the major leagues, Sanderson would be at second base right now because that would have been the 3rd unsuccessful pickoff. And, that's kind of the interesting niche here in the college levels.
Evans with a chopper, 3rd base side, throw over to first one, or second one, and throw over to first not in time. So fielder's choice, Cole Evans reaches safely, and there's one gone.
Cole Evans did the best he could to beat that throw out, and he did successfully. So trading spots with Sanderson is Evans, but here's Tyler Stone with a chance to tie the game. We mentioned hard-hitting left-handed bat with a right-handed pitcher on the mound. Certainly not the matchup you want to face.
Stone 1 for 2 with a single. Long pause, now throw back over to first. No slide for Cole Evans. Stone got his average up above 300 with that base hit back in the 3rd. Stone fouls one straight back. Nebraska looking for back-to-back sweeps of Big Ten opponents. They swept Northwestern on the road last weekend. Won 3-0 on Friday night, 7-3 yesterday afternoon, and find themselves down a pair of runs, but they were down 5-0. Throw back over to first yet again, and Evans in safely.
Yeah, for Nebraska, that sweep dominance has been there all of this year. I mean, they had a 4-game set with Grand Canyon. They went 3-1. They had a 4-game set with Charleston that got rained out. Ended up only being 3 games. That counts as a sweep.
Stone looks at a ball.
They also have swept 2 other series, the Nichols series here at Hawksfield and then the Northwestern series on the road in Evanston. So this would be a huge, huge sweep for Nebraska to continue their dominance in that search for a regional host.
Stone sends one straight up in the air. Center of the infield, who's going to grab it? In the outfield grass from shortstop, it's Kazmar, and there's out number 2.
And that's a tough play there, not only for the defense, but for Cole Evans standing at first base, because with the wind playing tricks here, if that ball drops, he's a dead duck over at second base, and that's one of those unfortunate outs that you just kind of have to trade in. But Evans will stay at first.
2 gone with 1 man on. Josh Karen looking to keep the 5th inning alive. Throw back over to first, not in time. You have to think about all the success that Nebraska's had, especially during the weekend, and then you drop one in the midweek to your in-state rival. The motivation behind that. They play Creighton 2 more times this year, so I think everybody in this state's going to have their eyes peeled for those matchups.
No, those are certainly huge matchups, and with the success Nebraska's had on the weekend, those midweek games become even more crucial, because if you drop 2, 3, 4 more midweek games, all of a sudden you go from
that one's fouled off by Karen.
You go from a 35-ish win team to maybe a 30-win team, and that's a huge difference there if you're trying to potentially host a regional like Nebraska wants to. 2 more matchups with Creighton. You've got another matchup with North Dakota State. And they have a matchup with South Dakota State here. Those are going to be crucial games for the Cornhuskers down the stretch.
Pick-off move, not in time.
And an interesting thing for Ohio State is they're kind of in a similar situation in their season. 3 of their next 4 midweek matches are 2 games back-to-back on Tuesday and Wednesday, which at this point of the year, you typically see more 1-game sets so that you can prepare for your conference weekend games. But Ohio State's got a lot of midweek still left in this season.
Oh-2 pitch. Off the end of the back, grounder over to shortstop underneath the glove. A base hit into center field for Josh Karen keeps the inning alive, and there's 2 on.
And Karen, who extended his 10-game hitting streak to 11 with a double in the 2nd inning, now has his 4th multi-hit game of that streak with a single here in the 5th. He's got single and double on the season, or on the game.
That brings up Overbeek with a runner on first and second with 2 outs. Overbeek with a sac fly and a walk today. Came around to score in that 4th inning. He's also stolen a base. And now here comes Ohio State to have a meeting.
Yeah, Wink, we saw him warming up. Hard throwing, right-handed arm out of that pen. One of his pitches registered at 97 on the gun. So we'll see how Overbeek tackles this, the switch hitter.
First pitch. And swinging at the first pitch and just foul.
That was about as just foul as you could get, as had that thing skipped one little spot of dirt further, it would have hit the bag and would have been a for sure fair ball. Overbeek swinging at the first pitch. I mean, that's kind of a common theme when you get a new pitcher. Unless they're completely wild in their warm-ups, you attack that first pitch.
0-1. Misses inside, a ball and a strike.
Yeah, that one registered at 96. Certainly a little more cheddar than the previous 2 Buckeyes on the mound.
1-1 from Wink. Misses upstairs. 2 balls and 1 strike. Wink, a sophomore from Miamisburg, Ohio. His last school was the University of Findlay. And the pitch home, fouled straight back to the screen. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs and 2 men on.
University of Findlay in Findlay, Ohio. It's an HVAC contractor university. A little bit of a change to Ohio State.
Just a tad. Two in the dirt, and the count is full. Dylan Carey waits on deck if the inning were to continue. Full count, 2 men on, 2 outs, and time is called. And a ball came into the field of play.
Found its way onto the warning track.
I was wondering what they were all pointing at for a second.
You
see a little white dot on the warning track.
Yeah, it was interesting to see what they were looking at initially. I was like, we didn't have a pitch clock violation, did we?
Now we'll strap it in.
Runners should be off.
Payoff pitch. And dribbled foul.
Big situation here for Josh Overbeek. He represents the go-ahead run for Nebraska. And certainly, you want to get it all back as soon as possible, but if you could just keep the train moving, you feel a lot better.
Payoff pitch yet again. Called strike 3. Overbeek goes down looking, a great pitch from Wink. And they get out of a huge jam in the bottom of the 5th. We head to the 6th. The Buckeyes still on top by 2. It's 5-3 right here on Big Ten Plus. Zach Felstad leads things off for Ohio State in the top half of the 6th inning. The Buckeyes with a 5-3 advantage over the Nebraska Cornhuskers here in the series finale from Haymarket Park. Will Walsh took over in the 3rd inning and is out here for the 6th. Exactly what Nebraska needed from their lefty. He fires in yet another strike. It's quickly 0-2 to Felstad, who's 0 for 2 this afternoon.
Yeah, Felstad 0 for 2, but Will Walsh, after starting off really without throwing a strike, has found his way.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Quick work of Felstad to begin the top of the 6th, and all of a sudden Will Walsh has retired 6 in a row.
Now Will Walsh has been extremely dominant the last couple of innings that he's worked in full. He came in that tough situation and kind of struggled, but now that he's been able to kind of work more as a starter.
Showing bunt, and it's a called strike regardless from Josh Stevenson.
Not overly powerful for Will Walsh, only 78, 80 miles an hour, but location is key for this lefty.
0-1. Swing and a miss. Dropped off a table at 78. Stevenson 0 for 2. And Walsh working with a purpose. Out of the line, the 0-2. Misses down and outside.
Darn. Just kind of hoping for a strikeout. You don't get to see an immaculate inning very often. He was set up for it.
That's why they're so rare.
No. We could have just added that to the baseball bingo we're playing here today.
The 1-2 skips in.
That would have been like the crowning part of the oddities today. But it won't happen.
At least not here.
No. Maybe again.
2-2. Hit hard on the ground over to the right side in the outfield grass. Stokes, and he throws him out in time for out number 2.
Well, despite not getting that second strikeout needed for the immaculate inning, Will Walsh has, again, set down now. What is that? That is 9 batters in a row? 8?
I have 7.
7. See, I can't count.
First pitch home. Grounder over to Stone, and a quick 1-2-3, top of the 6th for Will Walsh. and the Huskers. We head to the bottom half. Ohio State clinging on to a 2-run lead. It's 5-3 on Big Ten Plus. Eight, 9, and 1 in the Nebraska lineup as they trail 5-3 in the series finale with Ohio State. First pitch from Wink is fouled off the end of the bat from Carey, and it's 0-1.
Carey, one of the few Huskers so far that hasn't joined in the offensive kind of comeback here. 0 for 2.
Big swing and a miss, makes it 0-2 quickly.
He had a fly out in the second and a ground out in the fourth.
Wink working quickly. The 0-2 pitch swung on and missed. Strike 3. So just as we saw Will Walsh do in the top half, Wink working with a purpose, and he gets Carey on strikes.
Yeah, 3 good pitches in the zone there by Wink, and Dylan Carey is the first one to head down here in the 6th inning.
Back-to-back strikeouts for Wink. He ended the 5th on a backwards K. That one misses inside and bounces off the glove of Eckelman. Stokes 1 for 2 with an RBI double. That came in the 4th. He also struck out one time. And the pitch in there for a called strike. It's 1-1.
Yeah, that double that Stokes had, he made it all the way to 3rd before being stranded by Brumbaugh in the 4th inning.
1-1 misses down and away. As the sun starts to peek back out here at Haymarket Park. A foul ball from Stokes evens up the count at 2 apiece.
That pitch in at 96. The previous one was in at 97, so Wink definitely got the juices flowing here.
2-2, and just tapped off the bat of Stokes after the half swing.
Yeah, that was almost one of those excuse me swings trying to at least stay alive. You know, 2 strikes, you got to protect the plate, but Stokes did not fully commit to protecting that plate.
2-2 off the end of the bat into center field. Stevenson barely has to move, and there's 2 gone.
Yeah, talk about not having to work out in the outfield. Just a line shot right there at Stevenson. He was shifted perfectly already, took 1 step to his left, and stuck his glove out. The ball found it.
That brings up Brumbaugh with 2 gone and nobody on. Top of the order for the Huskers. And the first pitch in there for a called strike at 96.
Brumbaugh, another Husker that has not joined the offensive party today, is 0 for 3.
He sends a ground ball over to second on the backhand. Mershon, 3 up, 3 down go the Huskers in the bottom half of the 6th. And both pitching staffs starting to work with some purpose here in Lincoln. We head to the 7th. It's Ohio State 5 and Nebraska 3 right here on Big Ten Plus.
Both pitching staffs have been dominant here in the last couple innings. Will Walsh has set down 8 batters straight, and he faces the top of the order in Isaac Kaneda. Kadena offers it that pitch on the bunt, and it's called strike number 1. Kadena today led off the game with a triple, but then struck out and reached on a fielder's choice in his last couple of at-bats. That pitch is inside for ball number 1. Will Walsh came in relief of Drew Christo. That pitch chopped foul. It's 1-2. Walsh has essentially served as a secondary starter for the Huskers. Christo almost in more of an opener role. As that pitch is swung on and missed, down goes Kadena, and Will Walsh has another strikeout. That'll bring up the shortstop, Henry Kazmar. And now Will Walsh has gone through the entire order for the Buckeyes without allowing a hit. Bunt is laid down, but it is foul. And Kazmar will have to head back to the plate with an 0-1 count. Will Walsh, typically the midweek starter for the Cornhuskers. He'll also play the position of first base on some of the other games. But now 9 down. That one chopped back at the mound. Walsh has it. He'll spin. He'll throw to first in time. Great play by Will Walsh, filling his position. And now 10 straight batters retired for the Huskers reliever.
When Will Walsh came into this game, we were talking about how the Huskers just need him to eat up some innings. And now at the latter half of his appearance, he's totally full steam downhill.
Well, I mentioned he's kind of served as the starter role, with Christo serving more of an opener role here in the game, as the first pitch to Gravelin is called a strike. Will Walsh has just been completely dominant the last few innings. That pitch lined foul. It'll find the parking lot.
Last base runner for Ohio State came in the 4th, and that was on a fielder's choice.
We had a messy first 4 innings, and now the last 2.5 have been relatively clean, as that pitch misses outside for ball number 1. No one's batted around yet in this game. We got close. Ohio State sent 7 to the plate in the 3rd. That pitch is lined, and there's a hit. Breaks up the no-hit streak for Will Walsh. And Gravelin is on base, trying to add a few more insurance runs for Ohio State here in the late part of the game.
So it ends at 10.
Will Walsh now will have to work from the stretch for the first time in nearly 3 innings. As he checks over to first, Petterini, the designated hitter, is up. Ground out, hit by pitch. He came around to score, and a fly out. That pitch misses outside. It gets past Karen, and so Gravelin will be standing in scoring position. And this just feels uncharacteristic for Will Walsh, who was so dominant over the last 10 or so batters.
Well, you mentioned he hasn't had to work out of the stretch in nearly 3 innings, and maybe that kind of messes up his routine just a little bit.
As we have a foul tip, and so strike number 1 will be assessed to Petterini. Ohio State looking for some insurance here. They went out 5-0 to start the game, and then Nebraska's responded with 2 in the 3rd and 1 in the 4th. That pitch grounded up the middle. Stokes makes the play. He spins. He throws. Derek Jeter asks it, and no, it's not in time. Tyler Stone immediately calls for a challenge. The Huskers used one and were not successful earlier. Rob Childress popped out of the dugout and wanted the home plate umpire to get together, and they will get together as a conference. Red, as another lefty arm comes into the game. First pitch is a 74-mile-an-hour breaking ball. We mentioned Kyle Perry's kind of a flamethrower. Starts off with the off-speed here.
Trying to keep everybody guessing.
Runners at the corners, 2 outs. 0-1 pitch, runner goes. Karen kind of bobbles the ball in his glove, and so no throw will be made. It'll be a stolen base by Petterini. In all reality, that doesn't make too much of a difference for Nebraska because you don't need the double play. 1-1. That pitch lined out to center field. Silva ranging to his right. He will settle under it and make the grab. Kyle Perry comes in, faces one, and retires one. And so we head to the bottom of the 7th. It's stretch time in Lincoln. The score here is Ohio State 5, Nebraska 3. We'll go to the bottom of the 7th right after this on Big Ten Plus.
You mentioned it, the meat of the order coming through, and at a time when you need some runs. Let's see what happens here in the bottom half of this 7th inning.
First pitch to Silva is called a strike. Ohio State has been held scoreless in their last 4 innings, thanks in large part to Will Walsh for the Cornhuskers. Silva chops one over to first, but it's foul off of his leg, and that's the second pitch that has made contact with Silva. He was hit by a pitch back in the third inning. Was still kind of ginger after that.
He's been taking a beating here today.
So,
and that one a cause of his own swing.
Home plate umpire John Coons wiping off the plate and taking the ball out to the mound personally to give Silva a second to regather himself. But the count is 0-2 to the Huskers center fielder. As that pitch misses inside, Silva made the last out of the top of the 7th inning and now gets to try and get his offense going here in the bottom. Silva's ready, so is Wink. 1-2 pitch. Misses inside, it's 2-2. Every pitch, you kind of feel a little bit more pressure here for both these teams. 2-2, grounded up the middle. Shortstop Krasmar is not going to get there, and it's a leadoff single for Riley Silva. He is on base for the second time today.
It's a great start for Nebraska. As you mentioned, on base for the second time today, Riley Silva, his first hit of the afternoon, and exactly what Will Bolt's squad needed in order to try and force the hand here of a comeback in the latter innings.
That'll bring up Case Sanderson, who had that home run in the third inning. He also had a single back in the 5th as the ball gets away, but Silva unable to advance a base. It's ball number 1. Tying run is at the plate. The go-ahead run for Nebraska is in the on-deck circle in the form of Cole Evans right now. Certainly, you just want to push across the 2 necessary if you're the Cornhuskers. 1-0, misses inside 2-0, and we've seen Wink a little bit wild here in his third inning of work. Velocity is still there. But as the Washington Nationals put it doesn't matter how hard you throw ball 4. 2-0 is the count here. Runner Silva goes, pitch up the middle, fielded nicely by the pitcher Wink, and he throws over to second for 1 and first for 2. Double play, Ohio State, and the Buckeye dugout has to feel great after that one.
How about that double play? Even with the runner moving, Wink does a great job, makes a clean play on the mound, stays under control, doesn't rush the throw over to second, and great conversation on the middle infield. Kazmar able to cover the bag without issue, makes an accurate throw over to first, and an impressive double play from the Ohio State middle infield.
That pitch rides inside on Cole Evans, and for Nebraska, you thought you had a little momentum, leadoff man on, and now it's 2 outs, nobody on, and Cole Evans has to restart. 1-0, cut on and missed. It's 1-1.
That was a hard hit ball, too, from Sanderson. He went right back to Wink. That's the only issue, and Wink made a nice play on it.
That pitch finds the zone for strike number 2. Well, Wink made an infield single out of something back in the 5th inning. Tipped off his glove, and Karen was able to reach. As that pitch misses down and in for ball number 2. So now kind of redeeming himself with a web gem there, as it takes a lot of concentration to fire the ball in and then be present to field. That pitch chopped over to third, picked on a hop by Felstad, throw over to first in time, and Ohio State gives up the leadoff single, but only faces 3 batters here in the bottom of the 7th. We'll go to the top of the 8th. Nebraska running out of time here at Hawks Field. It's 5 for Ohio State and 3 for Nebraska. You're watching on Big Ten Plus.
Zach Felstad and Josh Stevenson, the 2 to follow. Kyle Perry back out on the bump for the Huskers, the lefty. And he fires in the first pitch. That one's lifted into center field. Silva coming in, and he makes the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the 8th.
Well, and that's exactly how you want to start it if you're Nebraska. You know, you had some offense in the bottom of the 7th, but it was quelled by that amazing double play. And so any quick inning you can get for Nebraska that's just beneficial to you because you still need 2 runs. You want your offense back out as soon as possible.
First pitch to Felstad is high and inside. Base is empty, 1 out here in the top of the 8th inning. Connor Clark alongside Harmon Johnson. That one's in there for a called strike from Perry.
Felstad trying to get on the board with a hit today. He's popped out and struck out twice.
One in there for a called strike.
Kyle Perry, of course, would like to give him the hat trick and make him have 3 strikeouts.
Now the infield will shift over to the right side. Perry looks in and the 1-2. And just chopped foul.
Kyle Perry's off-speed pitch has been pretty dangerous today. He started off his outing with that off-speed pitch, and then that one right there really just caught Felstad off guard.
1-2 yet again. Grounder right side and foul. Snagged and foul ground by Tyler Stone. We'll do it again. Both of Perry's outs have been flyouts to center field. Oakley last inning and now Mershon to begin things here in the 8th. Pitch home, fought off again.
Give you a little description here of the infield shift for Felstad. It's Dylan Carey just to the right of the second base bag. Rhett Stokes kind of playing a shallow right field. Tyler Stone playing near the line. Overby kind of playing the shortstop position.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Nice pitch from Perry, went up and in at the hands, and that's the 3rd one for Felstad. There's 2 gone.
That was a great location for Kyle Perry. Thought we were gonna see it on the replay. He put that right up and in on the hands, where it's kind of tempting not to lay off of that pitch. Pitch up at your eyes, you kind of want to defend yourself.
And that one goes over the head of Stevenson. So speaking of defending yourself.
Ooh.
A breaking ball that got away from Perry. Stevenson 0 for 3. And now he shows bunt and he fouls it off.
That's interesting, putting a bunt down with 2 outs in the late innings. You're only up 2. I know we've seen Stevenson kind of be a little bit of the speedy guy, but certainly not what I would have called for.
1-1 pitch is down low, 2 balls and a strike.
Then again, that's why I'm up here with you and not down on the field among the red and the gray.
Yes. 2-1 lifted high in the sky, right center field, shallow. 3 Huskers converge. Who's going to grab it into center field? Silva's got it, and the inning is over. A 1-2-3 8th for Kyle Perry and the Huskers. And we head to the bottom half. It's still Ohio State 5 and Nebraska 3 with the Huskers coming up on Big Ten Plus. Nebraska with work to do as we enter the bottom of the 8th inning, down 5-3 against Ohio State. Here from Lincoln, Nebraska, Haymarket Park on Big Ten Plus. Connor Clark alongside Harmon Johnson and Tyler Stone to lead things off. Swings of the first pitch, sends it the other way, but foul.
Yeah, Nebraska in a spot that they really haven't been for majority of the season, down 2 runs late.
The 1 pitch well upstairs.
Wink's still in. He's still throwing pretty hard, too. 97 on the gun right there.
1-1, soft chopper. Nice play by Wink. He'll take it himself for out number 1.
Yeah, Wink able to field that one falling off the mound. And, you know, some guys get upset when the pitcher takes it themselves because it's kind of either a selfish thing or kind of a showboat thing. But I think that was just purely, that's where his momentum was going. He figured he was going to be there anyway.
Here's Josh Karen with one out. The base is empty. Takes the ball.
We mentioned to each other during the break that we were wondering how long Wink would go. There is action down in the bullpen for Ohio State.
It's a foul ball that results in a grounder to third.
The pitcher warming up down there is Justin Eckhart. He is a graduate, last pitched at the University of Texas, so certainly an arm that Nebraska might not want to face depending on situations.
One. Swing and a miss at 97.
Karen was trying to take that 97 and deposit it out beyond the left field wall.
1-2, just fought it off. Karen is 2 for 3. He's got a ground rule double and a single back in the fifth.
Yeah, that was that ball that hopped up inside the scoreboard down there in the third inning.
1-2. This is low. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Second inning, rather.
That extended his hit streak to 11. 2-2, fought off. Good at bat forming from Josh Karen.
Well, one more note on that hit streak. As I mentioned, he had 4 of those games now in multi-hit games. The last 3 of them have been multi-hit, including today.
Another foul ball from Karen.
And this is Josh Karen showing you why he's up there among the prospects in the Big Ten. Quality at-bats are a huge factor in the professional level. And if you can have multiple quality at-bats, especially in a situation like this where your team needs offense.
And this time he sends a liner into center down for a base hit. So Josh Karen took the scenic route, but he got there regardless. A 1-out single.
And that's a great example of a quality at-bat resulting in a great outcome. You're going to see it here. He gets a pitch middle, and just takes it right into center field. Didn't have to swing hard, didn't have to swing fast. He just hit it where he could have. And now there's a man on with less than 2 outs, and Joshua Overbeek coming up, who's trying to get his first hit today. He's walked and scored.
Man on first with 1 out. Shift is on for Ohio State, and Overbeek lays down a bunt and foul ground.
And I'm not surprised to see that out of Coach Will Bolt. I mean, you have less than 2 outs, and you need the runs. So if somebody can get into scoring position, that's way more important than having 2 guys on at this point. You know, it is the late innings, but Will Bolt will not shy away from the small ball.
0-1. Misses outside, a ball and a strike.
And Overbeek is one of those guys that he can lay down a bunt and he could beat it out, but he also has enough of a power to get it into the outfield, into gaps, and then run for a little while.
Ripped right side through for a base hit. So back-to-back singles from Karen and Overbeek, and the Huskers have something brewing here in the bottom of the 8th.
You're exactly right that they've got something getting ready to explode here. They almost had that in the 7th inning before being doubled off, and now they've got 2 on and less than 2 outs. 1 runner's in scoring position, but with Dylan Carey coming up, one of the highest rated prospects in the Big Ten, he may not be batting as well as he wants to this year, but he still has proven time and time again that he is that quality of player that he is ranked at right now.
Meeting on the mound here with Blaine Wink. It's not going to be the end of the line for him, we don't think. And it will not be. But trouble in the bottom of the 8th for the Buckeyes. 2 men on for Nebraska, only 1 out. And Dylan Carey coming to the dish, who's 0 for 3.
Carey getting a quick word of encouragement here from Coach Bolt. Used one of their timeouts to meet with his batter. There is action in both bullpens. Eckhart still warming up in Ohio State's bullpen. And for Nebraska, they've got a righty up. It's Rand Sanders.
First pitch home. In there for a called strike. Pitch at 94.
Well, and if Nebraska can somehow score here, you're probably going to have to rip the ball out of Kyle Perry's hands.
That one sent foul back to the right. Carey with 2 home runs this year, 13 RBIs. The chance to add to that total here in the bottom of the 8th. 0-2. Misses down and away. Rhett Stokes, who has an RBI double, waits on deck.
Dylan Carey with some timely hitting. I know there's not 2 outs here in this situation, but when there are 2 outs, Dylan Carey batting 9 for 32. So tight situations, these are the guys that are going to come through for Nebraska. We'll see how Wink kind of dances around him.
2-2. Off the end of the bat, left center field. Cadena over, makes the catch. Nobody tags. There's 2 gone.
And that's a tough fly ball to try and tag on if you were, because typically ball in front, you're not going to tag in advance. And Karen, hate to say it, but he's a catcher and he's got catcher speed.
So here's Stokes with 2 on and 2 outs. A massive out for the Buckeyes.
And Rhett Stokes coming to the plate. He had a double back in the 4th that scored a run, but that is the last time a hitter's come across the plate for Nebraska.
First pitch is in there for a called strike at 94.
The benefit here for Nebraska is with Stokes coming up to bat here in the 8th, you're going to have the top of your order in the 9th if you need it.
0-1 pitch, misses outside, count now even at 1.
Obviously for the Buckeyes, you really want to just get out of here with this 5-3, maybe bigger lead. Wink going to have to pay attention to what he's doing here.
1-1 in the dirt. Couple of nice blocks from Eckelman behind the dish, too. One of those gets by, and the Huskers will have 2 runners in scoring position, almost certainly. 2-1. A dribbler foul.
It's probably one of the biggest pitches Wink is going to have to pitch right here. Ohio State trying to get a little bit of an upset here for the 23rd ranked Cornhuskers. Try and get out of here with at least 1 win.
The 2-2. That one's hammered, but fouled on the right field line. And I think upcoming, you can safely say this is the pitch of the ball game up to this point.
Oh, 100%. If Stokes can reach, then you flip it over to the top of the lineup, and that's potentially more dangerous than having 2 runners on right here.
2-2 yet again. Fouled yet again.
Here's another example of a quality at bat for a Nebraska Cornhusker hitter. Stokes got to that 2-strike count, and now he's just been protecting and firing things off. Going to be, I would expect this at bat to either result in a strikeout or result in a hit like Karen.
Check swing. Did he go around? No, he didn't. Count now full for Rhett Stokes.
Well, and if you can draw a walk, if you're Rhett Stokes, that just puts a little more of a hard feeling on the pitcher as well, because then he knows that it's his responsibility and not.
Payoff pitch, called strike 3. Big time pitch from Blaine Wink. And the Buckeyes get out of massive trouble in the 8th. We head to the top of the 9th. It's Ohio State 5 and Nebraska 3. Back in a moment on Big Ten Plus. And the pinch hitter, as Kyle Perry fires in a strike, is Nick Gemarusti, making his first appearance in place of Eckelman. And he lays down a bunt, right side. Perry's got it, spins, throws awkwardly. It's out of the glove of Stone, and everybody's safe.
That's just a tough play for Kyle Perry to make. He had to spin and throw, so he was comfortable throwing from the left side, and Stone was getting caught up there with the glove on his left hand. The runner was right in his road, so that's just a tough play there. And Will Bolt asking for the umpires to come together and discuss. You see on the replay there, it looked like Stone had it in his glove, and then it kind of got knocked out by the runner of Giamrusti.
Another throwback over. Giamrusti, a junior from Chicago, Illinois. Played at John A. Logan College before Ohio State. First pitch home from Perry, in there for a called strike.
And for Cadena here, after leading off the game with such a loud hit, certainly you want to at least get your runner Giamrusti over to second.
0-1. That one's dribbled foul right behind the plate into the palms of Karen.
Well, Kyle Perry's got an 0-2 pitch here. We'll see what he can do with it. We mentioned he's not shy to give a little emotion out here.
Oh, 2, it's a pitch out. They throw back over to first, but no tag.
That would have been an amazing out had Karen not kind of thrown the ball over to Stone's right side. Stone, if it was more to his left, would have been able to just set the tag down, but because of where that throw was located, he had to go out and corral it instead of being able to slap the tag down.
So 1 and 2 strikes now. Man on first, nobody out. Pitch home. Grounded foul. Kind of seemed like on the pitch out, nobody really realized it was a pitch out until, oh my goodness, Karen's throwing the ball to first.
Yeah, certainly a tough situation. Now we've got a fan over the railing here in the ballpark trying to corral the foul ball. There's a cup or something down there on the warning track.
And they got all their belongings. The yard sale is over. And we could resume play. Gonna throw back over to first.
Perry really concerned with that lead runner over there, and as he should be. You know, you're down 2. But Kyle Perry hasn't had to pitch in very many dangerous situations like this with the game on the line.
1-2. High and tight.
A little bit of chin music there from Kyle Perry.
A glance over to first from Perry and the 2-2. And a swing and a miss. Strike 3 for Perry, and there's 1 gone.
That's another tough pitch inside. We've seen the Nebraska left-handed pitchers go inside to all these batters. This one just handcuffs the batter, Cadena. There was nothing he could do about that.
So here's Kazmar. 1 on and 1 out. First pitch high and tight, and now Giamrusti's going to take off. Throw beats him there, and he's out. A delayed steal from Giamrusti does not pay off. An absolute dot of a throw from Josh Karen, and just like that, there's 2 outs.
Well, we've seen Karen kind of throw wide so far today, but this one, Karen gets right on the money, and the throw beats Giamrusti by quite a bit.
1-0, now bunt gets laid down. Left side, it's a beauty. Throw from Perry, almost in time. I can't believe he even got the throw off.
I can't either. Kyle Perry with the athletic spinning throw to try and get the runner out. I thought for a second the Huskers were just going to concede the run and not try and throw over, because if you get a throw over, all of a sudden maybe he's on second or third. Very impressive play there by Kyle Perry.
It's a part of the campaign. Pitchers are athletes too, and this might be the end for Kyle, and it is. And the first pitch in there for a called strike. Off speed at 79.
Another Husker pitcher starting off an appearance with an off-speed pitch. We saw it with Perry. We saw it now with Sanders. As you see Gravelin, he's 1 for 4 today.
0-1 skips in.
That one hit Gravelin had reached on a single, made it all the way to third. He has scored once today. He struck out back in the first inning, but reached on a pass ball. He would score on the RBI double by Okuley.
1-1 is in the dirt for a ball.
Clouds moving across the field might create some issues for some fly balls.
Extra shadows. 2-1. Misses inside. 3 balls and a strike.
Well, just as we say that, the clouds disappear, and now the field is enveloped in bright sunshine.
Sun has been trying to come out all afternoon. 3-1 in there for a called strike. Back to the off speed at 79.
Well, with this pitch, full count, 2 outs, you know the runner, Gravelin, is going to be going over, or excuse me, Kazmar's going to be going over there. This is probably do or die for Rand Sanders right here.
And Sanders will step off.
That's not the worst thing in the world either. You know, gather your thoughts. Try and really focus in on this pitch, knowing that it could be a huge difference in this game.
Payoff pitch. And that one shot down the line, but foul. Straighten that thing out, and you've got a 2-run home run.
Yeah, dangerous pitch there for Sanders if you're a Nebraska Cornhusker. And again, I mentioned this, Ohio State, they're looking for insurance. They have not scored since the 3rd inning. Not to say they haven't had chances either. Trying to escape here with the Sunday game.
Another payoff. Off the end of the bat and foul.
Well, we saw some quality at-bats from the Nebraska Cornhuskers in the 8th inning and in the 7th inning. We'll see if the Buckeyes can get themselves a quality at-bat here and potentially bring up another hitter.
Just outside, ball 4 from Sanders. So Gravelin draws the 2-out walk, and there's 2 on for Ohio State.
You're going to see this pitch right here, just a bit outside on the black. That one could have gone either way. We've seen that pitch called a ball today, though. And a little bit of a visit here. Looks like Sanders' day is done. Buckeyes.
Tyler Petterini steps in, takes a strike. Timmerman, a freshman from Beatrice, Nebraska. And the 0-1. This is down low. It's a ball and a strike.
The runner Gravelin over at first getting quite a healthy lead. Obviously, he's the trail runner. But you think on a base hit, you got to try and get him to third.
1-1 misses down and in. A foul tip gets sent straight back to the backstop. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, and if for some reason Timmerman doesn't work out here, there is double barrel action down in the Huskers bullpen. Nobody up for Ohio State, so we'll have to see if Wink continues.
The 2-2. And that one's fought off.
We saw this with Rand Sanders and Gravelin get to a full count. Obviously 2-2 here, but another long at bat here in the 27th, potential 27th out.
Down and in, the count is full.
There is still a base technically open with third base, but if you load the bases, you're just creating a world of hurt for yourself.
Payoff pitch. Misses down low, ball 4. The bases are loaded after Petterini draws the walk. He's reached for a third time. And now Mitchell Okuley with a chance for some insurance.
Yeah, and for Ohio State, this is the best chance they've had to score a run for quite a long time. Mitchell Okuley had a double that drove in a run in the first. He walked and scored in the third. But since then, strikeout, flyout. Let's see if the right fielder for the Buckeyes can get something done here.
Ohio State calling for a balk, potentially.
Dylan Carey had called time from shortstop.
Overshift on for Nebraska's infield. And the first pitch. Shot into center field and deep. Silva still racing back, looks up. This ball is gone. A grand slam from Mitchell Okuley blows it open. And Ohio State on top, 9-3.
Mitchell Okuley sending Husker Nation to the aisles. This game has been cracked wide open in favor of the Buckeyes. And Husker Nation going to start to head for the exits here as neither Rand Sanders nor Tucker Timmerman could quell and get the 27th out. And so
it's 2-0 to Joseph Mershon. And he cracks one into center field. Not as deep as Oakley's, and Silva's able to catch that one. And the inning is over. But the Buckeyes cash in 4 thanks to Mitchell Oakley's grand slam. And they lead by 6, 9-3 on Big Ten Plus. Substitution we should let you know about. Hunter Rawson now playing first base for Ohio State. First pitch to Brumbaugh is outside for ball number 1.
Yeah, Brumbaugh, 2 flyouts and 2 groundouts today. Certainly not been the best of days for the Husker designated hitter.
Pitch home in there for a called strike. You mentioned Eckert. Most recently pitched at the University of Texas. He is a native of Sealy, Texas.
Yeah, certainly some big-time baseball played down there in that conference. Just probably has some good experience of some tough situations, but like this 6-run lead, you kind of just got to go out there and do what you do.
1-2. This is upstairs. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Sometimes pitchers don't like being up this big. It's kind of controversial to say, but when you have that adrenaline, it kind of forces you to be sharper.
2-2. Just misses low. And the count is full.
Well, if you're Nebraska, you've got to get somebody on, and who better than the leadoff guy? Base hit or a walk would be huge here.
Payoff pitch, swung on and missed, strike 3. Brumbaugh is sat down on strikes, and there's 1 gone in the 9th.
That's a huge pitch there by Eckhart. Just throws this one in, down and in. Brumbaugh did not have the same result of golfing the ball out towards the outfield. And so 1 down, only 2 outs remain for the Cornhuskers.
Here's Riley Silva. 1 for 3 today with a single. Got caught up in a 1-6-3 double play in the 7th. Takes the ball on the outside.
Yeah, and that double play in the 7th was probably one of the biggest blows we've seen from the Buckeye defense. They really quelled the Cornhuskers there.
1-0 in there for a called strike. It's one of the few instances where Nebraska's gotten the leadoff man on. And then all of a sudden, that turns into an inning where Ohio State faces the minimum.
Yeah, certainly not what you want as a Cornhusker batter, but they did get another chance there in the 8th inning. They brought 5 men to the plate but couldn't score. So certainly some missed opportunities for the Cornhuskers down the stretch, but let's give credit to the Ohio State defense. I mean, they've made some spectacular plays that's made this a 9-3 game.
2-1 misses outside, 3 balls and a strike.
I mean, the diving play by Okuley, the diving play in center by Stevenson, if those balls had gotten past, who knows how many runs Nebraska would have right now.
Mitchell misses down and away, ball 4. So Silva aboard with a 1-out walk. That brings up Case Sanderson.
Sanderson, single and a home run on the day. He's been on base 3 of the 4 at-bats he's been up. First one he reached on a pass ball strikeout. Had that 2 RBI homer and then grounded into the double play.
First pitch home, in there for a called strike. Last time out for Eckert came on March 31st through an inning against Purdue and only walked 1 batter. 0-1 misses down and away.
We'll see how aggressive Nebraska is here on the base paths. Obviously, you need every run that you can get, so you don't want to get thrown out stealing.
One on the ground over to second, could be 2. They go to 2 and they get the out there. Nice play from the middle infield. Mershon to Kazmar for out number 2. Silva is retired, and that brings up Cole Evans to try and keep the game going.
Yeah, last hope here for Nebraska. Cole Evans, certainly a guy that can provide some offense, but unfortunately, if you're Nebraska, Cole Evans can't get all 6 runs with this one swing. And here it is, the 27th out. We mentioned in the top half, this is the harder 27th out for Ohio State.
Evans takes a strike. He's reached twice on a walk and a fielder's choice. He's got a runner on first with 2 gone, and Ohio State up 9-3. A 1 pitch in there for a called strike. Quickly 0-2, and the Huskers down to their final strike.
Evans going to have to be really protective here at the plate. Anything close, you don't want to give the umpire a chance to end the game.
And the 0-2. In there for a called strike 3, and the ball game is over. Ohio State is able to salvage the series finale, and they defeat the number 23 ranked Cornhuskers 9-3.